your motivation, and your background. Okay, so another thing, when you write personal statement, so while writing personal statement, you should be focused on your academic background rather than your personal information. So it should always, you should always take the opportunity to mention as much as your experiences, your what you can do with your future, what are your goals, aspiration, and what is the your department is offering. So what you can do with that in future. So you have to mention each and every information which is important regarding your subject, and it should always also focus on like what you can do with all these things in future. So it should always be related to your past, academic past and future. And also it should be in a flow, concise, and it should be nicely written. And please do not make errors while writing your personal statement. It's just a common point, but people do make such mistakes. So yeah, that's it.
Oh,
I hope it's helpful.
thank you, Ms. Kirti. I hope that cleared the query of most of the people here. So before I move further, I would like to tell that there are a few basics questions which were repetitive, and that question we'll answer first. And after that, we open the floor to all the participants who want to raise their questions to any of the panelists we have. You can directly ask any of the panelists here, or you can just ask anyone to answer. So if you have any specific, like someone from AI or someone from MBA, you can ask the panelists here. They are specialists, they can guide you, or you can just raise a questions and we can give to the whoever panelist wants to answer. Okay, so before I move further, okay, so this is how we are going to proceed. So the next query which we got very often was which documents are required to get apostilled and where can I get it done from, and difference between the notarized and apostille. So Dr. Rajesh, can you answer this? Can you answer on this one?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So just talking about the documents that need to be apostilled, actually, NIID has prescribed 3 documents that you need to get apostilled. First one is your degree or diploma that you say, like the last degree that you attended and you completed it. So that one need to be apostilled. Then your transcript. In other words, it's also in India, it's popularly known as mark sheet. Okay, like the marks that you attended, that you got in your last attended degree. And the third one is a proof of citizenship. So NIID has kind of, for the proof of citizenship, they have said like either you can submit like a birth certificate or maybe some document which prove that you are kind of related to your mother and father and you are a citizen of India. Please note that Aadhaar is not counted in that one. Okay, I came to like that many people who are submitting their Aadhaar card for proof of citizenship, so that is not anymore accepted. Embassy has said like, no, we cannot take Aadhaar as a proof of citizenship. There should be something which really say that, okay, you are a citizen of India. Okay, so even if you are submitting maybe like a residential certificate, that will also not be accepted as a proof of citizenship. So the best thing to do will be either a passport, okay, or a birth certificate. If you are submitting a birth certificate, that need to be apostilled. Okay, if you are submitting passport copy of your parents, it doesn't need to get apostilled. In many cases, people have been also submitting their ration card that you get. If only it will be accepted by the embassy only if relation with your mother and father is written there in a like clear way that, okay, you are like, no, maybe you are son and daughter of this person or something. So these things. So these 3 certificates you need to get apostilled. And before I move forward, like I would like to say like what is apostilled and what is notarized. So notarized becomes like a court in India, like a court of law. They certify some document that, okay, we certified that this document is true. But apostilled is something like there is called something Hague Convention. So there are like few countries who agreed that, okay, if we are going to use any document originated in your country, in my country, then what we are going to do that, like your Ministry of External Affairs need to say that like this document is true. Okay, because so that like the like duplicate or maybe fake documents, like the issue of these fake and duplicate documents could be controlled. So for apostillation, and since India belongs to this Hague Convention, so you have to always, most of the time, you have to get the document apostilled. So for apostillation, there are like 2 steps. First step is it need to be verified or authenticated by the issuing authority. Suppose if you have maybe a transcript or maybe a diploma issued from some university where you attended your undergrad or postgrad. So what will happen that first the issuing authority, that means like if the document is probably was issued in Delhi, okay. So the Directorate of Education of Delhi need to authenticate that document first. That okay, this is the document that it is original, and then you need to take this document to Minister of External Affairs. But now Minister of External Affairs they don't accept it from you. They have assigned 4 agencies actually. They are located they're like 4 agencies, but they're located in different parts of India, like in Delhi, Chandigarh, Guwahati, maybe what do you say in South, like Chennai, all these places. So put this list you can find on internet. You can find it on Ministry of External Affairs website. You, after getting your certificate, your documents authenticated from the issuing authority, you go to these agencies, and then you say oh, I want my apostillation. So what will they will take you some charges for apostillation. That will be around maybe it depends what kind of document you are getting. So most of the educational documents that need to be apostilled is kind of 16 to 18 rupees per page. If your document is 5 pages, so you have to and so you have to pay 80 rupees for that apostillation. So it's always counts on per page. Okay, so please remember that one. And what happens, you submit these documents, and then the Ministry of External Affairs, these agencies, they take the documents to Ministry of External Affairs, and then they do the apostillation. So apostillation is square kind of shape of some it looks really like some kind of what do you say some kind of stamp or something. They just put it on your document, and they put a seal of them that okay, this is original document. Then you can get it done. Then you can that the apostillation process is done. Please also make it sure that while getting apostillation, it may take time depending on your what do you say authenticate the organization that is going to authenticate it, or the issuing authority that is going to indicate it. In many of the states, it can be done in 1 or 2 or 3 days or 4 days, or even within a week. In some states, it might take 1 month or 1 month of time. So always, if you're applying for this thing, you need to be really careful that you have if you have any if you have that much ample amount of time to get this document apostilled. Now earlier it used to be that you just submit the document as it is, but you get apostillation letter. But now NIID and embassy and most of the universities, they are asking for apostille document. Sometime it may happen that some universities will say that if you're applying to the university, they might say that okay, you don't really what do you say you don't really need to get the apostillation. You just send us the document right now, you can submit it later. So please keep these points in mind. Okay, yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. There are a few questions coming in the chat box also. I would request the panelists to answer them if they can answer, so that we can answer as many queries as possible in this short period of time. The next query that we got very often was explain the GPA or percentage and GPA conversion system. Does one has to change his or her percentage into GPA? So Mr. Bishal, can you answer on this?
Yeah, hello. So when you are filling up the form, you either get option when we get graduated from Indian universities, we usually get out grades in percentage or sometimes in grades. So what most people, I have seen most people do is they go to some third-party apps or third-party website to get that degree converted into percentage, and they do such things. But instead of doing that, you can just mention your grades directly in the application. Like for instance, in my master's, let's say I got 9.3 and 9.6 something out of 10, right, in the first semester, second semester. So in the application itself, it's written that it's divided into first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and then inside that you have semester 1, semester 2, semester 3, 4, like that. So for semester 1, if you got 9 out of 10, just write 9.0 out of 10. And then you have the second year, you got 9.6 out of 10, to write 9.6 out of 10. If you get out of 4, if your GPA is out of 4, you can write accordingly 3.6 out of 4, or if you're out of 5 or out of 4.5, 4.1 out of 4.5, you can write it such. And then, but if you have in let's say in marks, in percentages, you can write 70 out of 100. You can write like that. And then at final, you have your score percentile. So your score percentile is that your GPA should be converted into percentage, right? So so that you should convert it based on your university. I know like major universities in India, like almost all universities in India, they have percentile conversion, a grade percentile conversion. So you have to, if you are writing your grades, you're writing your marks in grades, like your grade, if you're mentioning your grades, then you should get a grade conversion certificate from a university. Every university has it. So you just request your university to give you a grade conversion certificate where it is written that 9.1 meant like how to convert your grades into percentage. Okay, that should be clearly mentioned. So I got from my university, I said them that I need a grade conversion certificate. So they gave me a whole document where it was written that how like my grade could be converted into percentage if required. So I attached that document as a part of my application and submitted in the GKS application when I was applying. But if you have it in percentage itself, you do not need to worry about anything. Just write percentage out of this. You got after 100, you got this much, and then just average it and write in the score percentage area. Otherwise, if you have grades, you write your original grades. Don't go to any third-party apps or websites. Write your original grades and get a grade conversion certificate from your university. Every university has it, and so get a grade conversion certificate, convert it accordingly, write it there, attach it with a document, and submit it as part of your application. That's about it.
Thank you, Bishal.
Yeah.
I hope that clears most of the queries of the panelists. The next frequent question that we got is Korean language knowledge required before applying? And can we write exam in English or only in Korean? Like what kind of level of knowledge of Korean is required before coming or applying to any university? Mr. Rishal, can you answer on this question?
Yes, sure. So hello everyone. So answering this query, number one thing is like it is preferable to have a little bit of Korean knowledge before applying to GKS, but it is not compulsory. And if you have topic level 3 or above, you'll get additional 10% of the points than other candidates. So and talking about the level of Korean knowledge that is required is like you'll have 1 year of compulsory language training provided you don't have topic level 5 or above. So you'll have to study 1 year of language training. From this year onwards, the language training will be in your university itself. Previously the language institution was a different institution. So but from this year onwards, the undergrad, like the last year's undergrad degree onwards, it's like the major university will be a 1 year language training institute as well. And in 1 year of language training, you should study hard, study as much as you can, so that it will help you in your degree course. And talking about whether the exams and everything is in English or it's in Korean, it will completely depend on your universities. So like when you are seeing the guidelines of GKS, there's one different file as well where you can see the majors and universities that are listed, and there it's written there's one specific column where it's written whether the course is in English or Korean, or English 50%, Korean 50%. So you need to check that before applying. And in 1 year, no matter how hard you study, whether you get topic 5 or topic 6, it will be little difficult for you if your degree course is in Korean, because the Korean that you study in 1 year, it will be completely different from the academic Korean that you'll be using, provided your course is in Korean. And your exams, relating to exams, so I believe this completely depends on your university and who your advisor is. For me personally, my course is in 100% English, so my uh, exams will be in English, of course. But like for masters and PhD students, I believe that it will depend on your professors. Or I believe like if your major is in 100% English, 100% Korean, sorry, so you'll have to do your exams in Korean itself. So that was it. And before you're applying to GKS, I would personally suggest everyone to at least have some basic Korean knowledge and study on your own in India, so that it will help you while doing your language course and while doing your major year. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishal. Uh, The next query that we have often is like what to attach as ID proof. Should it be attested? And can I use the parent's PAN card? So Mr. Bishal, can you enlighten us on this one?
Yeah, on what? Come again?
On what to attach as an ID proof. Should it be attested? Can I use a parent's
Yeah, ID
PAN
proof.
card
Yeah,
as
right.
an ID proof? Yeah.
So you cannot use PAN card as ID proof. Even in India, it is not considered as your citizenship proof. You can use your voting ID. Let's say I think as one of the panelists answered, birth certificate and passport are the safest way. But in case you don't have it, if you have, like my parents lost their birth certificate, and you have to submit your parents' citizenship proof as well as a part of a document. So, and I did not have enough time to get the passport ready for my parents. So I talked with many people and even with my university, and then I decided that I should get a court affidavit. I think that works. That works for the best. Just get to any court in your regional court and said that you want an affidavit for citizenship of India, and they will need your voter ID card. So you take it, you give it to them, and they will give you a statement, a paper stating that on a court paper it will be written that you are a citizen of India and not a citizen of Korea by virtue of the election of voting card, that you have voting rights in India and so on and so forth. So you'll get a big document. So you just it doesn't cost that much as well. I think it's cost around 200 rupees, and get it notarized. You do not need to get that document apostilled. Just get it notarized and send it to your university as required.
Okay. Thank you, Vishal. Okay, Pallavi, we'll take your questions, but the last frequent question that we got from the panelist, we answer that. Swarnim will answer this, I think. Tips on interview questions. Swarnim, can you tell this panelist here what are the few tips that they expect as an interview questions? And then we take on the questions from the panelist. Panelists would be required to raise their hand digitally, and then we'll unmute them and they can put their question forth to any of the panelists here.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So to answer this question, I would like to tell that during interview, you don't have to worry. They will just ask you basic questions like, why do you want to apply for this scholarship? And have you ever visited Korea? And if you have visited, do you know, like, how did you find it? And do you know anything about the Korean language or culture? So these are the only basic questions they will ask. And they might ask you, like, why should we accept you for this scholarship? So these are the basic questions which you need to obviously prepare by yourself. They never ask a technical question, but in case they ask, like they might just ask very, very, basic questions. Technical. They never ask, go into the depth of the technical questions. So you don't have to worry. You just have to be confident in whatever you are saying. And for me, I just want to share one thing which happened with me. The professor told me that in Sogang University, the acceptance rate of Indians have not performed well before. So if they ask these kind of questions, so they ask me, how will you be able to do it? Then you have to show your confidence and not just say, okay, I don't know if I can do that or not. You just have to. I just told them that he cannot judge me on the basis of others' performance, right? So if you see my academic background, I've always performed well. So you can just answer these type of questions confidently, and it's just a basic conversation between the person who's taking your interview and you. Yeah. So this is all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you, Swarnim. I hope that may be helpful to many of the panelists, to many of the participants here. I think there are a lot of questions which are coming repeatedly regarding the university track and embassy track. Jyoti, can you repeat whatever you said earlier, because many of the people maybe they have not joined or because of some reasons. So can you say the difference between the university track and embassy track, and which track is better, and can one apply both in university or embassy track?
Sure, I will quickly recap. And one of the questions that is continuously asked in the chat is, what is the acceptance rate? So I will add that point here too. So the process, there are three things for both the tracks that have to be taken care of: process, point of contact, and competition that you find in these tracks. So the process for both the tracks is different. Once the notification is out for the scholarship, embassy track process is to apply to embassy. Once you get selected, the interview round is done. The list of candidates is sent to NID and then to the 3 universities that you select from embassy track. For university track, the process is different. You directly apply to the university, and then the selected candidates list goes to NID. The point of contact for both the tracks is different. You apply to embassy in embassy track and directly to university in university track. So the process is short for the university track and very long for the embassy track because you have multiple rounds to clear. The competition also differs because in embassy track, you're only competing with Indian aspirants, but in university track, you're competing with global aspirants. All the countries' aspirants will be competing for those seats in that university, in that department. The pros for embassy track is you get 3 chances, 3 universities. You have a wider range to select and get accepted. In university track, you only get to apply to one single university. Yes, you can apply to both the tracks in one span of application, only if after getting rejected from embassy track, your choice of university still has the applications open. If the deadline is over, you cannot apply to university track anymore. The acceptance rate question was which track has more acceptance rate. Both the tracks get their own separate vacancies in a certain country. So for example, in India, 20 something seats for embassy track, 20 something seats for university track. So you don't have to worry about the acceptance. If you are a worthy candidate, you will get accepted. You do not fight for vacancies from one single country. So that's a different criteria there. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Yeah, also I would like to add a point there. I
Yeah.
think Jyoti explained it really well, but I think if you have good grades in your master's, and if you wanted to teach, if you have good grades in your bachelor's, applying in the embassy track really, I think, helps you out because in the initial screening process, they usually screen it based on your grades that you have and which university are you from. If you're from like Delhi University or like central universities or IITs and ITs, so I think it becomes a little bit easier to get in the filtering process. But let's say you don't have that much good grades, and but you are very good domain like me. So applying to university track, applying to the professor and the university track, that I think you have a better chance instead of going to embassy. So that's how I feel about this selection criteria.
Thank you, Vishal, for adding the information. Now we open the floor for question answer sessions. Anyone can raise any question to any of the panelists we have here, and you must raise your hand digitally, and I will unmute, and then you can pose your questions to whoever you like. So let's take the questions. First, we have Aishwarya.
Hi, myself Aishwarya. Um, I recently, like last year, I applied to GKSU. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the first round itself, and I applied to university track. I completed class 12 in June of last year, and I had 3 months time. Just 1 minute. Sorry. So I had 3 months time to prepare well, like preparing documents and getting it apostilled and everything. And I did that in the 3 months and then applied through university track, and I couldn't make it. So I had 2 questions for now. I'll be applying this year. Is it necessary like to attend any degree college before applying to the scholarship? Because I'm already in my first year, and anyways, like if I apply this year and let's say I got selected, I can apply TC to the college that I'm attending currently, and then I could make it, right?
Or do you have any panelists that you want to
Yes.
ask?
So Ashwarya, in this case, if you want to go for your bachelor's in India and also apply in Korea, also you do not want to waste your 1 year. In that case, you apply in India and also apply in Korea. If you get accepted, then you can take TC from your university. Do not mention that you are doing your graduation or something like that. You can just show your
No, because I had this doubt because in the application like form, it has asked that agreement on collection of personal use, personal data. So they'll know that my other personal information regarding it could be educational background or
no, no.
personal
They
nationality.
just mention this every time with in any case. So it's not that important of thing. And as of now, I think it's better to do not waste your 1 year and rely on GKS scholarship. While the best thing to do for you is that uh, go take admission in some college wherever you want, and then also apply for GKS. If you get accepted, then you can leave your present college and go for GKS.
So apart from this, I think this year taking IELTS and topic, and then also I subscribe to a training program where you can do like 80 courses in a year, which means if I take one course and do training for 20 days, I'll get a certificate. So the certificate helps, right? And it's related to my major, business, global business or international trade.
All the certificates, of course they put a lot of weight on your profile. They make your profile look good, so it's okay to build your extra information or extra whatever kind of sort of information you want to gather for your future studies. So it's okay to do that, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aishwarya, and thank you, Kirti. Next, we would like to ask. Okay, we have now Monica with us. We'll unmute Monica. And Monica, first, if you have any of the panelists that you want to ask, first you name them and then you can pose your questions. Or if you it's a general that anyone can answer, then you can just directly pose your questions. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Anyone can answer my questions. So actually, I'm Lakshmi Monica from India. So I have applied to GKSG last year and through embassy track, but I couldn't make it. But again, I would like to, apply. So what happened is from then to now, I have been applying to the same university, which is EVA University for non-GKS track also. So I was getting selected, I was getting partially funded scholarships, but anyhow, I'm not happy with it. In the meanwhile, I had this rapport with professors also. But recently, when I heard of this GKS announcement, I would like to ask the professors regarding the recommendation which they can do it for me. It is regarding the research topic which I have chosen. So I want to do majors in international relations from EVA University. But the thing is, they are saying we couldn't recommend you because we didn't educated you. So they said this. I do have my recommendation letter from my university, but it would be even more. My chances would be better if they support my research. So how should I convey them about this?
Okay, I am going to take this question if that's okay.
Okay. Yes.
All right. You said your choice of field is international trade. Is that right?
International relations, ma'am.
International relations. So whenever it comes under any of the GSIS departments, the professors do not have a specific lab. So they don't specifically guide you through your research. You select in these specific departments like GSIS departments. You come here after getting selected. You then choose your professor and then start your research, which they will support afterwards, right? So it's good that you have a repo. You can tell them, inform them that I will be applying through GKS, and whatever they can do from their end here in Korea, they will do to make sure they have a good candidate in their class, right? But it's not a specific lab for them to give you a recommendation and then add you in the lab. So I don't think so. You can get a recommendation from the professor. But since you have a good relation, you should always write an email and just be like, I am applying, and if my application does come to you as a reference, whether this profile is strong or not, please do refer or do consider my name. So you can use that path.
Okay, and one more question is, thank you so much, ma'am. I understand. And two more questions. Since
Yes.
I graduated last year in April 22, I got my original degree yesterday. So
Yes.
should I have to apostille that original degree certificate, or I do already have my provisional certificate apostilled? So is it mandatory for me to apostille my original degree? And one more last question. Should I have to change my research topic? Because last year I have given a research topic. Should I have to change it, or should I just leave it the same?
Okay, so the first question is the original document. So if you can get another set of original degree, then it's advised to send your copy of original degree to them, because you will not get it back. But if you are getting only one set and you cannot send that one, so you have to get a copy and then apostle the original, copy it, and then send to the university or whatever track you're applying. You cannot submit provisional even if it's apostle after you have your original degree. Do not do that. It's not advised anyway. If you have the original, it's better to apply with the original. The second question was, I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. Can you repeat that question, please? Oh, changing the
Shall
research topic. Yeah, sorry,
yes,
I just
yes.
got it. So no, you should not change your research topic. If you are passionate about something and you want to do research on something, and you see some professors that are supporting your field of research, then it is not advised to change. Just try to get a professor that would be able to support you. So you don't have to change your research topic. It does not have any impact on your selection process.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
No
Have a
problem.
good day.
You too.
Thank you, Jyoti. Next, we can take the question from Satinder. I would request the participants to limit the questions to one or at the max two. And Satinder, you can now unmute yourself and give your question.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Like anyone can answer this question. I have two questions. The very first one is that I have already apostilled my mother and father's voter ID card, as passport is taking too much time. I don't know why. So can I submit directly the voter ID card and no need to do any that like no need to go to court and do that affidavit? Is that okay? Like directly voter ID card with apostille stamp.
I think, yeah, let me answer. So I think it should be okay, unless your university has some objection, or if NID has some objections, I think they will mail you back. But in most cases, I think it would be okay. It should not be a problem. In my case, my university was like not sure, like if voter ID itself is a proof of citizenship. So I just made affidavit just in case, but they didn't have any problem. So I think it should be okay. But just, if they have any problems, I think they will mail you back that this is not sufficient. You have to give some other document. Otherwise, I think you should submit it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And the second question is, actually, I have professor from the two universities, and one is Indian and another is Korean, and they both are friends. So, like, I have research in the same both field. One is from Hanyang and another is from Kimyang. So, like, I had meetings with them from past 1.5 years also. So I'm little confused, like which one should I go? So like if like you can help me out. As my I want to do master in sports psychology or sports biomechanics. These are my fields.
Yeah, so I think that you should take any. I mean, you should pick one based on your preference and whichever professor you like. Like if you like both of them, then I think you should be okay with picking any one of them. There is not much of preference between Korean and Indian professors. I think my professor is Korean and he's really good to me. I think almost all of us can agree that Korean professor is really good. So you don't have any problem with professor. Just you see like with whom you vibe well. I think that what matters, I guess. But unless I think you said that you have good communication with both of them, so pick anyone who is more oriented towards your research or your career goals. So I think that should be fine.
Okay, actually, my field is little bit like too different, I guess. Lot of previous GK scholars and recent one also told me that your chances are like way low because your field is not that developed. So that's why I was little confused that like which one should I go?
Oh,
You can pick anyone. It's
Okay,
up
thank
to
you so
your
much.
research orientation. Whatever you feel like, if I join under this professor, then I'll be good. Then I can get good. So you have to join that, and based on your preference and your career goals, I think you should pick a professor.
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you, Satinder. The next query that we can take is from Janvi Prajapati. Janvi, can you just unmute and give your question?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Janvi. I just want to ask that how can I write a good study plan? Because in study plan, I can say that I have an interest in this subject. I study before this subject. So, what more and interesting points I can add in study plan to make it good and interesting?
Okay, I can answer this. So in study plan, you don't have to, write just that you have an interest in this and that is why you are applying. Everybody has an interest and that is why they're applying. Nor do you have to write that you have a, interest in BTS and that is why you are applying. You will be rejected. So you have to write your academic background. Like I think there are some points which are mentioned that you need to mention in the study plan. So first of all, you will have to write in the study plan. You will have to write what you are planning to do in once you get into the university. Like once you get into the university, what courses you are going to take and how are you going to develop your career taking those courses, and whether you are going to do, like you can also mention this point that during the summer vacation or winter vacation you can go for internship in this field. And also you can write that I plan to interact with my classmates and involve myself in active conversation. And like if you're, I don't know what is your major, but if your major is something related to science or something, then you can maybe talk about the projects you would be working on, and like the research topic you are thinking about, and how you're going to work on your research field. Like what steps are you going to take to write your research. So those are the things which you can write, and also at the end you will conclude it with what is your future goal. If you write that, okay, I am going to I am going to do my master's in international trade, but after that I'm going to become some civil servant in my country, then this is not related. So why are you doing international trade in Korea? So you need to relate whatever is your future goal, you need to relate with what you are going to do in Korea. Only, even if it's fake, we don't know what are we actually going to end up in the future. I do have plans for being an entrepreneur, but maybe I might not be able to become an entrepreneur because of some limitations. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to write that is your main aim. So if you relate your major with whatever is your future goal, then it can act a very good basis of your study plan. So you have to start with why you took this course and what are your plans when you get into the university, and then end with the future plans relating it to the course you will be taking. Thank
I
you.
just
Thank you.
wanted to add a small point. Swarnim explained amazingly, but only for the aspirants who are applying through university track.
s-
Please unmute. Mute.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that anyone applying for a university track and already set to apply through university track, you should go on their website, go to the syllabus that you're going to select, the branch. For example, for me, it's international business. I go through all the subjects, and then I wrote in my personal study plan the semester wise goal that I have, what courses I want to finish, what courses I'm interested to take. That shows that you have already gone through the website, you understand the course, you are actually interested in studying it, and you have a set goal to finish your credits and graduate in the given time. So for only university track students, because in embassy track you select 3 universities, you cannot do this, so it does not apply to you. Only for university track you can write in this way, and hopefully you stand out and get selected. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Since we are having a less amount of time, I think we'll take only 3 or 4 more participants. We'll ask Pallavi, Ashwarya, and then Tanushri. Pallavi, can you unmute yourself and then raise your questions to whoever you want?
Hello everyone. I would like
Yeah.
to ask to talk about relationship certificate. Do we need to apostille our parents' voter ID also, or do we need to apostille only my passport?
You do not need to apostille passport or voter ID itself. I think you only need to apostille your degree documents, and you can just notarize your like voter ID or your passport. You're also not required to notarize. I think passport you can notarize. I don't think. I'm not
I will
sure
just
about
like, yeah, I'll just add with that thing with that question. Like you have only this apostillation will be done on birth certificate. Okay, if you are producing birth certificate as a proof of citizenship or like no family relation or something, or if you have some other documents like no, then only it need to be apostilled. If you have passport, if you have voter IDs also, so supplementary documents, they don't need to be apostilled actually for being much more clear on that one, because this rule is kind of, it is also written in the new notification of GKS, that the rules can be changed a bit according to the embassy. So if there is some problem, because like yeah, Korea kind of like make these rules like seeing all over the world, like no, they have like no try to generalize it, but in India, getting some kind of documents are not really easy. Like for example, see like no in Korea they ask you for like original document if you are whenever you are applying somewhere, but in India you cannot submit your original documents. You have to submit your apostilled one. So in Korea you can just pay a little bit of money, maybe like 50-60 rupees or something, and you can get n numbers of copies of your degrees or your diplomas or like your transcripts, but in India it doesn't happen. So for this, getting a really clear thing that which thing need to be apostilled or not apostilled, or which I can submit it, it's like it's better to contact the embassy directly by writing them an email or maybe by calling them, and they will be like trying to guide you better, because there are a lot of confusion now kind of like coming, because this year I heard that the GKS application, like no, the whole system got changed. Like no, earlier it was not that with documents and everything, it was not that problematic, but now it's becoming released. So it's better, in my opinion, to at least ask the embassy once before submitting the document. If you have any question related like no, this like, oh, can I submit this document or not, so that you can get the knowledge on the like at the right time, so that you can submit the document at the right time, because they say like, okay, passport you can submit, or passport you don't need to notarize. Okay, birth certificate you need to you need to get apostilled. Okay, and in India most of the documents that you have to submit will have to be apostilled. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
Vishal can continue. Like, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Oh,
no,
it's okay.
You explained it. It's okay.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh and Vishal. Next question we take is from Ashwarya. Ashwarya, can you unmute yourself and give your question?
I'm sorry, just my last doubt, and anyone can answer this. So I filled in my 10th, 11th, and 12th marks, and I converted grades to GPA using Scholaro. But 11th and 12th marks I couldn't convert to use GPA using Scholaro. Instead, my college administrator calculated and mentioned that so and so grades are converted to GPA and got principal signature on it. And also I submitted my provisional graduation certificate, but they did mention the year and the course that I took. So I want to know what changes I should make when I apply again this year, because I have no idea if the things that I submitted was correct or not.
I'll take this question since I am an
Yeah,
undergrad
yeah,
student. So,
yeah.
what you need to do is like you don't need to convert it at all. So what you need to do is like class 10, 11, and 12 mark sheets. Uh, I'd suggest you to just get a document from your school, just stating the marks that you have got and the percentage, not GPA, the percentage in 100%. So let the school calculate the percentage of class 10, 11, and 12. So just get that document and just that document will be
So,
fine.
I studied I completed my 10th in a different school and my
Mhm.
plus 2 in a different, like in a college.
Mhm.
So, different. So,
Yes, so that was the case for me as well because I studied in different school, 10, 11. Just do one thing, just get a document from the previous school and from your college and just attach it as supplementary documents. So that's all you need to do. Don't go for Scholaro, go for anything. It'll just make the process complicated and you need to get the principal signature and whatnot in it. So just go for the basic documents from the school. Just request the school and the
I,
college to issue a document and just that will be fine.
and I did submit my 10th marks card, marks card and 11th and 12th transcript and got them apostille and sent
Mm.
it. With
Yeah, yeah.
that, I even submitted the converted GPA thing.
Mhm. So was it not accepted or?
I don't know how and where it went wrong,
Oh,
but
thank you, Aishwarya. You can ask to Rishal. We have already given his email in the chat box. You can take it from him and ask if you have any other issues. Let's now take another question. Charu, can you unmute and give your question?
Yes, sir. So actually, my transcript do not have CGPA information, and my college is not ready to provide conversion, and they are not ready to sign on Scholaro conversion. So what should I do?
So you have your transcripts in marks, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you write your marks directly. You don't need to convert them to GPA. Why do you convert it to GPA? Why you need Scholar?
But
Don't
they
go
are
into third
less
party.
than 80%.
Yeah, so you whatever you have, you can write it. So if you're thinking like let's convert to GPA and then I'll get more marks, I don't think that's advisable. Don't go into third-party apps like that or third-party websites. Whatever marks is written in your in your transcript, if it's written in marks, you write your marks out of 100 how much you got. And if you have GPA, you write your GPA and then get a degree conversion, like grade conversion certificate from a university. I think that's how it is. Don't go for any third-party apps.
Okay,
Thank
I just wanted to add one thing to it. Since you said that your marks are less than 80%, right? You must have heard from many people that you can still get through the scholarship because, like in India, we don't get good marks.
Yes, yes.
Like we don't get a lot of marks as it is given in Korea. 20% students, you can get a bona fide certificate written from your department that you are among the top 20% students, and that can help you get through the scholarship.
Yes, I told them
Even if you
to.
don't get like 80%.
I told them
For
to do
example,
so, but
yeah.
they said they will not provide that kind of document, as they only provide the
So
distinction type of document.
it's not like you have to take it specifically made by the university. You can just get a bona fide certificate just written in a paper and get a stamp and a sign. That's it. That is how people get this certificate that they are among the top 20% students, because it is clearly mentioned in the GKS guidelines that either you have 80% or you have some like GPA like equivalent to 80%, or you are among the top 20% students. So if you are among the top 20%, but still you have just 67% marks, then you can always ask your department to give that certificate and you can apply and still get through the scholarship.
Okay.
You will
Uh,
have to convince
Thank
your
you.
university. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Surname. Next question we can take from Uddipan. I think we'll take only now 2 more panelists and then we'll wind up the session. Next, I would call on Uddipan. If you have any question, you can just post it.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question regarding that. If I mass email the professors, will it be a good approach to contact with them, or should I follow any other?
What mass email?
Yeah,
I
so
didn't.
yeah, so you can, like, if you are, I don't recommend you are doing sending cold emails to professors. I think that is like totally unprofessional and doing such things, and that actually degrades the chances of getting selected. Like, go to universities, make a list of your like selected professors that you want to work on, and then maybe take some time and read their like you make like your statement of purpose, and then maybe whatever the professor that you are mailing to, you can write something about his works and how, like, why you want to join his lab in your letter, and send them emails. Like, you can personalize each emails differently and send them to professors instead of just writing one mail and sending it to every professor. I think professors get tons of emails every day, like lots of emails, and if you like send like that, it's just getting ignored. So I don't recommend doing that. Just read some of professor works, mention them, and just edit your SOP or motivation letter accordingly and send emails.
Thank you,
Yes,
Vishal.
I agree with that. Like mass emailing is the worst thing anyone can recommend you, because if you don't write some specific emails to the professors, then that doesn't give them motivation to read even your email. So yeah, like, as I am not a PhD student, but I know this is the worst thing you can do.
Thank you, everyone, for answering. Now we take one more question from Tanushri. Can you unmute and give your question?
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, everyone can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So my question was, like, if I am planning to apply for graduate schools through the GKS university track, and my undergraduate is from another overseas university, is the procedure of submitting the documents any different? And if also answerable, my second question is, like you said, if we're applying from the, if we're applying from the university track, then we can, give some kind of detailed study plan. But what is, like, for another hand, for the embassy track, how can we show that we're really interested in the 3 universities that we're applying to, since the study plan can be as focused?
Okay, the first one I'm not sure how to answer, but I think if you have done your undergraduation from overseas, you must have gotten all your required documents. So I think it should be good enough to send. If you have your final degree, then I don't think there should be any other issues. It basically just shows that you have completed your degree, no matter where it is from. The second one is, if you're applying through embassy track, whichever 3 universities you select, I would suggest, that's how I wrote my embassy track SOP and study plan. I try to connect dots between all the 3 universities, like how they are kind of similar, can provide me the same platform for what I want to study, my interest, and different professors from each universities who can support if each university decide to select me. So you still have to do your research on each university and try to make it personalized, but also find a connection between the 3. The university should not be far apart from what they are going to help you with in your study journey. Yeah.
I would just like to add, like, for the first question, you asked, like, no, you probably did your undergrad from a like overseas university or something. So for that, if you're submitting the document, you have they're like kind of like either you have to get it apostilled, because an apostilled document is, suppose, like, no, probably you studied in the States or maybe somewhere, or maybe UK. So the Ministry of External Affairs there is only kind of like the apostille, like, or whatever department they have in those countries is only responsible for apostilling the document. So if you are already in India, it's probably like really expensive and everything to go back and get the apostillation done from there. So there is another method for that is called consular verification. So that what means that suppose you studied in the States, you came back to India. Now you visit the embassy of United States in India, and you go and say, like, oh, I studied there and I have this document from there. Can you verify it? That will be also accepted. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
This is the last participant I'm just allowing to ask the questions, and afterward I'll just wind up the session. Meghna, can you just give your question?
Thank you, sir, for unmuting. I have a question. Suppose I'm in 12th class right now, and if I want to apply for the undergraduate, can I submit only my 11th and 12th class mark sheet and not submit 10th class because I did not write 10th class exams because of the COVID-19?
Your question is regarding undergraduate documents. Meghna, it's better that if you can email Mr. Rishal, he has left because he has something to attend to. So if you can just, I'll pinning the email in the chat box. Okay, you can just ask him regarding the undergraduate. If anyone have any knowledge, they can answer too.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get the question. What was the question? Maybe I can help.
Sir, actually, if I want to apply this year for 2024 undergraduate, but for the mark sheets, can I just submit 11th and 12th and not submit 10th because I did not write 10th exams because of COVID-19?
Okay, so see, what happens like now whenever you the application, if you see it says like the last attended degree or last attended school. So in Korea, you don't have a system of class 10. Okay, so you have to just submit your 12th mark sheet, like the high school that you pass. So in Korea, according to Korean system, class 12th is considered as high school. In if you compare it to India, so you need to just submit like class 12th this thing. Okay, so if you don't have like because in India now appearing in 10th exam is not that much compulsory anymore. You just like so in some places I heard that. So for you it's only like the 12th board, the 12th class that you had, probably that is the one that is like your last appearing examination. So you can just apply with that that mark sheet, like in the best of my knowledge, because I never applied for undergrad. Okay, maybe Rishal, like who applied for undergrad, he could answer you much better in a much better way. But in my opinion, it's like probably it's this thing that okay, only 12th marks will do.
Yes, sir. Since I've seen many applicants have given the marks 10th, 11th, and 12th. But since I don't have my 10th, so I can also apply with my 11th marks, right? 11th and 12th. That's enough, right? Instead of only 12th.
Yes,
because
yes, you can. Yes. Yes, you can do that.
Thank you, Meghna, for your questions. And I think we are running out of time. And one last question that we have is like, this was also a very common question that we got is some tips about choosing the Korean literature related to subject for master's or PhD. And what should be your approach when writing SOPs or choosing universities and professor? Dr.
Yeah, okay, I can answer that one because I'm also I'm related to
Dr.
Korean
Rajesh, can you
literature.
answer on this? Like,
yeah,
the question is, I would repeat again, tips about choosing Korean literature related subjects for masters and PhD, and what should be your approach writing SOPs for choosing universities and professors? Could you just wind this up in 3 to 4 minutes?
I'll be very quick with that. First thing, if your Korean literature is really vast, so you have to decide which part of Korean literature. Like, if you are going to ancient literature or modern literature. Even if you are going in modern literature, which literature? Like modern literature also like 4 or 5 periods. Okay, like you have probably like Enlightenment period, then like partition period, then post-partition period, then the contemporary literature. All these things are there. And apart from also you have 2 more varieties like C or social, like either poetry or the novels, okay, or fiction. So you have to be very much careful about that one, like which area you are interested in. Suppose you are interested in like novels, then you need to choose the period, okay, which period. And then what happens in when you are writing an SOP or something for what do you say, for Korean literature or something, you are a foreigner here and you are coming to study here Korean literature. So why the Koreans should offer you like, okay, come and study here literature? First thing, like, of course, like their literature will be spread. So you should always try to kind of like write an SOP in a way that, okay, if I'm coming here, probably I'm bringing my a foreigner's perspective on Korean literature. And with that, maybe I will be kind of like comparing this my literature with your literature, and then we'll be finding out something new. So it should always be a little bit into comparative areas. It shouldn't like write, okay, I'm coming there and I'll be just studying Korean literature. There are like a lot of people who are studying here Korean literature. Like so you're coming and studying here doesn't like get them anything. So for that one, you have to always like have a little bit of comparative approach. Okay. That thing. And like for writing to the like first you think always for like how to approach the professors and everybody. If you just like if you are applying through GKS or something, you just write to your SOP and probably like send it to the universities that you want, or like through maybe Embassy Check or something. If the professor wants to have an interview, you have an interview. Probably they will be there kind of like as Swarnim a while ago said, they will not be asking that many deep questions about your research or something. They will be probably much more interesting, like why you are interested in studying Korean literature. These kind of questions will be there. So apart from that, also you can contact some professors by writing them an email with a really good questions, like research questions. You should always have some kind of research, like when you're applying for masters or PhD, you should always have some kind of good research questions with you. Okay. If you are just writing an email like, oh, I'm interested in like studying Korean literature. No, that's not the way. Okay. You are interested in studying Korean literature, but like what part of Korean literature? What should be your research question? These things need to be considered and then accordingly you need to write your SOP. And also if you want to contact the professor, you have to also kind of contact them in a way that okay, they will be interested, like, oh yeah, probably this kid is going to come here, he's going to study, and probably he will benefit us like in a positive way. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Before I end the session, I would like to call on Mr. Sai Kiran, Youth Coordinator of Indian Overseas Congress, for the ending remarks. Mr. Sai Kiran.
Hello everyone. I, on behalf of my team members and all the organizers, pass my warm thanks to all participants for their significant presence in this webinar. And also, I especially want to thank our speakers for vital appearance.
Thank you, Mr. Sai Kiran. Now I would like to end the session. Thank you everyone for being part of this webinar. I wish all the best to all the GK for all the people who are hoping to get admission here. I hope that you make it successful. Thank you for joining with us, and thank you all the panelists and the participants for being a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.